The more explaining you do, the less confident you sound. Because over-explaining isn't about making sure somebody understands. It's actually a classic sign of insecurity. And so if you want to know how to improve your delivery, your influence, your communication skills, and your leadership, what I'm about to share with you in this video is going to help you so you won't need to keep explaining yourself. Instead, your point will land, it will matter, and you will move the conversation forwards. Before we get into how to solve this, over-explaining dilutes your authority, creates unnecessary debate and conflict. It signals a lot of doubt, and it can overwhelm people. So here's what to do instead of over-explaining. Let's get into it. This is the first one. Use silence. It's something you've got to practice because it can feel very uncomfortable and quite unnatural. But when you say something, particularly if you're explaining something the first time, pause. Let silence do its thing. So underrated. And you can even add some non-verbal communication. You can use your face. You can nod. You can use your eye contact. But let silence do its thing. Too often, we try and fill that silence because we're just a little bit unsure of it. But it allows the other person to understand that your point is finished and now it's their turn to add to the conversation. This is a big one. Not just in an over-explaining context, but anytime you are communicating with somebody else. The word just weakens your point. Instead of, I just want to say this, or I just think that, use stronger comments such as, my view is this. I did that because. It allows you to put your point across in a way that moves the conversation forwards instead of this justification fog that can come in and make your words seem like noise rather than the point you're trying to make. Once you've made your point, once you've explained what you want to say, a great way to pass the baton over to the other person is to finish with a question. Something like, what do you think? What have I missed? How could that be better? What questions have you got for me? And these are all examples of ways that you can end what you've said, pass the baton over. Really important that you use open questions because otherwise the other person might just use a yes or no and it sort of glaze over, doesn't move things forward. These questions allow thinking time for the other person. They have to go into that part of their brain that digs deep for answers and context, and that's what you need to make sure that your point has landed. So use those questions after you've made your point to make sure that not only they're listening, but you can move things forwards. When you explain something and you want it to come across with influence and confidence, you've got to be able to trust your point. Deep down, if you don't really believe it, then how can you expect somebody else to share that belief? So if you've got to figure something out first, if you've got to have a bit more time to think things through before you go and deliver your point, then do it. Because you must be able to trust that what you're saying is your best language, your best words, your best context, your best point. Otherwise, other people might just play it down. Lastly, whether you're trying to get your point across in a sales context, in a leadership context, or any kind of feedback or general communication context, it's always really important that you connect, not convince. We are not in the business of convincing people. Instead, we should be looking for things that we have in common, connecting the motives with the instructions and actions so that we can move forwards in whatever context. So no more convincing, no more repeating your point. Say what you know to be true, say it with confidence, and then hand the baton over. I hope you've enjoyed this video. So now I get to hand the baton to you. If you have, let me know in the comments, or if you prefer not to comment, subscribe to the channel because I make videos like this all the time. And I'll see you in the next one.